very much for joining us. Yesterday we saw that the bourse was up 1.2% and today it's up 0.79%. Take us through what's happening on your side of the world there on the bourse.
Well, today the market was very interesting in that we did a marginal gain again, almost 1% today. What we're seeing in the market is we're beginning to see a little bit of stability, and some of these prices are actually selling at what I call they have already bottomed out. So what we see now is that people are beginning to take position, mostly in some of these stocks like Oceanic Bank was on beat today, Bank PHB was on beat today, First Inland too was on beat today. So the terms of movement today, we had about 22 losers and about 44 gainers. And those that didn't gain were still just flat from their prices of yesterday. So we still expect the market to continue to move like this, mostly in the first quarter. And knowing fully well that some of the results that we've gotten from the banking sector, they're just coming out. You know, they had a common year, and we've had that of Wema Bank, and we think it's not as bad as people thought it would be. If Wema Bank is that, people are beginning to say, okay, that means some other banks will do better. So I think the market is gradually taking shape. And then normally the December periods through the first quarter of the year is always one of the peak periods because earnings from mostly the insurance sector, the conglomerates usually come in. So
well, Muktar, before we get into the insurance sector, let's look at the banking sector. It is showing bullish sentiments, but the two banks that have shown losses is Union Bank and Unity Bank. Take us through what is the trend like on those two banks?
Well, Unity Bank is still selling at 96 cover the trading, but you know, there is some sentiment towards Unity Bank that they have a co-investor that is coming in, they are pumping in a lot of cash. And you know, Unity Bank happened to be one of the most liquid banks in Nigeria because of the backing they have from the 11 northern state governors. So when you look at that, you will say that that's why people are beginning to take position in that. For Union Bank, it has always been a good bank. It has always been a big bank before the crisis came in. And people seeing Union Bank selling at 6 naira, some people are beginning to take position. And knowing fully well that they say some of these big banks are not queuing up to acquire some of these banks that have problems.
Well, Zenith, Oceanic and Intercontinental Bank is showing strength from yesterday, but last year that was not the case. What is working for this bank this year? What are the fundamentals that's working?
Yeah, for like Oceanic Bank was on beat today, Intercontinental Bank was on beat today too. You know, like I said, people are beginning to say that this bank will be sold to foreign investors, or to be sold to more core investors that are coming in to pump in more liquidity. And when you look at the outreach of this bank has a very wide outreach, mostly in Nigeria. So you begin to see people are beginning to say, well, let's take position in this bank. We know that this bank have the potential to grow. This bank have the man resources, the human resources and the manpower to grow. How about Zenith? You know, just recently CBN came out with a policy that said that banks MD that spend up to 10 years will have to leave the sector, leave the bank. So, and Zenith happened to name their new CEO yesterday. He's somebody that has been tested and trusted. He's somebody that has been with Zenith Bank for a very long time. He's somebody with his antecedent and track record have been very, very good. So when you look at that, coupled with the fact that the outgoing MD of Zenith Bank did a very good job, and coupled with that this guy too is coming in, which was like a successor that worked with him. So people are beginning to take position, knowing fully well that this bank still has a lot of potential in it. The management team will still be as solid, if not better, than what we have before.
Well, talking about new appointments, Zenith, UBA and Costain has informed the NSE of their appointment for new MDs. Is that a sure sign of recovery in the banking industry?
Well, Alicia, I wouldn't say it's a sure sign. Okay, when you look at UBA, even when the announcement was made, UBA went down. It's only today that UBA just did marginal gain of just 6 kobo. So and you don't see that when you talk about Skybank too did a marginal gain today. When you talk of Zenith Bank, maybe Zenith Bank is the only one that have, for the 2 consecutive days when they say this MD was coming, they've been able to gain a little. When you know there's a lot of talk about the tenureship, whether to be or not to be. But I think what is making people have confidence in this is the quick response of this bank to the sudden announcement by CBN that their CEOs have to go. And so it's giving people confidence that there is going to be continuity in these banks. And I think that's why people are beginning to take position, knowing fully well that this bank actually are not really doing badly. Talk of Skybank has been fantastic. The outgoing MD have done a marvelous job. bringing them. You know, they were a conglomerate of banks that came together. And then when you look at Zenith Bank, you don't have to, you just know the track record already, a bank that's almost going global. Then when you look at UBA Bank, it's the biggest bank in Nigeria, and one of the oldest banks in Nigeria, with one of the most experienced management staff in Nigeria. So you begin to say, if these people could take quick decisions just not up to a week after CBN came out with their policy, that means they have a strong management team that can actually take the bank to the next level.